Hello, everyone. How is it going? Welcome to another live English lesson with me, teacher Zdenek, and cricket. Yeah, today's lesson is going to be with cricket. I don't know where Jolly is. Jolly is supposed to be the student today. I hope nothing happened to her or anything. She might have just forgotten about this. Who knows? I might have been just stood up. Do you guys know this phrasal verb? To stand someone up. To stand someone up. I'm going to write it in comments. To stand someone up. Yeah, if you are stood up or if you stand someone up, it means that you fail to keep a date with someone. Usually, it's used to talk about dates, but I think occasionally it can be used to talk about appointments as well, or a YouTube live or something like that. Uh, that's the phrasal verb to stand someone up. So, I'm just gonna have to talk by myself. You may see that I have got these for today, for today's live. This is as close to scuba diving as I could get. Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I use when I swim. These are like swimming glasses. What do you call them? Swimming glasses? Is that a better word for that? Swimming glasses, swimming goggles, maybe. I'm just gonna quickly check what they call them. Swimming glasses. I honestly don't know. Let's see. Swimming goggles, yeah. I think Amazon.com. I can see that people call them swimming goggles. I think swimming glasses would be fine too. Yeah, so do you have one of these? I like them. I like them. Sometimes mm, the water can stink, not stink, sting, stink. Water can also stink. Yeah, absolutely. If there is something in the water that's not supposed to be there, or maybe if there's a lot of dead fish around, then the water can stink. But what I meant was sting. Your eyes can sort of like sting, right? It can be quite painful if you spend too much time under the under the water. And I don't know how about you, but the thing that bothers me is my eyes always. It's like, yeah. So that's why it's useful to have these swimming goggles. I don't know how useful it is for this live, especially if there is no student today. But it is supposed to be about scuba diving. If I don't have a student, I'll just go through the questions that I've prepared for my student by myself. Why not? I don't know anything about scuba diving, but I might as well just talk about it. Yeah, well, it won't prevent me from having an opinion. You know how sometimes people don't know much about something, but it never prevents them from having an opinion, does it? Right. So, guys, feel free to get involved in the comments. That will make things easier for me as well, especially if it's going to be just me, and then any collaboration or engagement is appreciated. And yeah, so how are you? How is everyone doing? I hope you're fine. What do you think about the weather? What do you think about the political situation? What do you think about what's been happening in the world of English language teaching and learning? Is there anything you want to talk about before we? I'm trying to avoid it, I guess. I don't know much about scuba diving. That's why I thought I would talk to Jolly. Basically, scuba diving, as far as I know, is a form of diving. It's a type of diving. When I say diving, I don't mean the diving that you see in football. I often mention this word in my Mondays football show when I talk about players that pretend to be kicked in their leg or something, and then they fall to the ground. But often, well, when it's called diving, it means there was no contact, or it was soft. And diving means that the player sort of makes it look worse. So that's also diving, but I don't mean that kind of diving. I mean that type of diving that you dive in water, right? So they're different. kinds of diving, I believe, like snorkeling is one of them called snorkeling, I believe so. But scuba diving, as far as I know, it's the type of diving where you need to have certain equipment. Yeah, I'm gonna read a definition on Wikipedia. This is one of the most reliable sources you can go for, Zdenek. Yeah, I know. Scuba diving is a mode of underwater diving whereby divers use breathing equipment that is completely independent of a surface air supply. I want to know what the name means as well, because that's a bit strange to me. The name scuba, an acronym for self contained underwater breathing apparatus, was coined by Christian J. Lambertsen in a patent submitted in 1952. And you can read the rest on Wikipedia if you want. Basically, what it means is that divers carry their own source of breathing gas, usually compressed air. Yeah, so obviously there's not enough oxygen to breathe under the water. So that's why you need that, right? And you can stay there for as long as the bottle lasts, I think. I don't know. I've never tried it. As far as I know, you need a license for it as well. Not every Dick, Tom, and Harry can become a scuba diver. Do you guys know this expression? Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry. I love it. It's a funny one. Um, not every Tom, Dick, and Harry is a placeholder for unspecified people, right? So it means uh, like not anyone can become a scuba diver. You have to have, or you can't just scuba dive. You need to have a license for it. You need to have a license which you can obtain by taking a course. You need a training. Yeah. So by the way, this is the expression Tom, Dick, and Harry. This is like a series of names, really. Um, so that's what I have gathered. That's what I've been told also by one of my private students who is a scuba diver. I don't know, like when I say someone is a scuba diver, does it mean that they are a professional? What does it even mean? I guess it means that you do it as a hobby. I don't think it necessarily means that you are a professional scuba diver, if there is something like that, if that exists even. But I guess you could be an instructor, or I don't know, it might be some competition, some scuba diving competitions or races. I have no clue, honestly. But I can imagine there must be something like that. So one of my students is a scuba diver. Yeah? He scuba dives, and he told me about how he had to get the license, and it's you have to go through training. Also, he told me that you have to do it in tandem. Do you know what in tandem means? It means that you cannot be alone. You have to do it with someone alongside another person. That's what the phrase in tandem means. Yeah. Um, there you go. I'm just putting this expression on screen. In tandem means with someone else. It's in that sense, it's kind of similar to climbing, isn't it? Like often climbers don't go alone because it's too dangerous. So this is the reason I believe general public or normal people cannot go alone, as far as I know. I have to have a buddy. You have to have a buddy to go with, so you have to go in two people to make it a little bit safer. Nadia, good to see you here. Hi, Zdenek and Jolly. Where is Jolly? I can't see her. Am I blind? Oh, it's a joke. Yeah. I hate water getting into my ears when it comes to diving. Diving is not my speed. Ah, that's an interesting expression. I've never heard that before. Not my speed. Oh, is that like, does it come from like drug usage or something? Speed. Isn't speed a name of a drug? Not my speed. I've never heard that before. It's not my speed. I can see, yeah. I can see some people using that part. I'm not completely sure about it. Tell us what it means, Nadia. But I think from context, it means it's not my cup of tea, or it's not my um, It's not up my street, which would be similar expressions. I've never heard it's not my speed. I wasn't speed a name of a drug or something? I don't know. That's maybe where it comes from. Yeah, Nadia, I think I would probably enjoy this. It sounds like fun. But my problem with this is that it seems to be quite complicated to get the license. You need to take the training, and I don't know if it's worth it. How do I know like if I would like it? And then the equipment is pretty expensive, so you have to, I think, rent it because you can't afford to buy it. I mean, maybe you buy it, but then like you have to make sure you really use it. Yeah. So if you're like me, it doesn't really doesn't really see water that much, perhaps in summer, possibly, then I guess it's okay. Other than that, honestly, I don't know. But it sounds like fun. Like if when I see people diving, scuba diving, I can imagine myself doing that. It could be fun, and that's why I thought this would be a good topic. And yeah, I've got a few questions here. So I've answered the question what scuba diving is. Why do people scuba dive? So why do people scuba dive? Hmm. I don't know. I guess could it be a bit of adrenaline? Yeah, one of those sports that raises your blood pressure. uh, one of the sports that increases your heart rate, I suppose, which normally is a bad thing, I guess. But sometimes people like that because it's exciting, and people like to explore things. People like to try new things out. People like to be scared a little bit, or people like to be out of their comfort zone. It must be one of those things, right? Because you are in the underwater realm, right? There's going to be marine life around you, like some seaweed and fish and sharks. I don't know if there are sharks. I don't, I think not all sharks are dangerous to people anyway. But like if I saw a shark while scuba diving, I don't think that's what would be going through my head. Do you think I would be thinking to myself, Zdenek, don't worry, it's all fine. Not all sharks are dangerous. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure, but yeah, I'm honestly, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there's some kind of theory you study as well when you take that course, and they tell you all about it, how dangerous it can be. I think the most dangerous thing could be if your equipment malfunctions, if that can even happen. I don't know. That sounds like having a bad hair day, right? Imagine if you run out of the air. I mean, you could run out of air, right? Um, I guess you need to know like when to go up. You should know. You should have some sort of. What if you get what's the expression? Get out of. What if get carried away? Sorry. What if you get carried away with diving, with scuba diving, and then you forget about time completely? I think you need to have like a watch or something like a smart watch. One of those that are waterproof. Because how else? Or maybe there is something that like there's some kind of alarm that goes off like when you have just a few minutes left or something, like a reminder that you should go up. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. I'm speculating. If you guys know more about this, please let me know in the comments. Because I don't know. Um, do you have your own scuba? Do you have your own scuba gear? Well, that's what I was going to ask Jolly because I know. Well, she suggested this topic, so I assume she has done it. Why else would she pick this topic? But no, I don't. As I said, this is as close to diving as to scuba diving as I get. Yeah. So no, I don't have any scuba gear. Not at all. By the way, the word gear is another word for equipment. Gear. It's a good word. Gear, it has the same pronunciation as beer. Gear, beer. Sometimes, like I've got a tip for you. Like if you're struggling with pronunciation of certain words, you have to, no, not you have to, but you could. It's just a suggestion. Yeah, it's a recommendation. It's a word of advice. It's a piece of advice. What you could do is picture or imagine yourself with the other things. So imagine yourself with beer, going scuba diving with beer and just drinking beer. I don't know. Like, I know it's a bit weird. I know it's a bit weird, but imagine drinking beer and then scuba diving, and you're like, another word for scuba equipment is gear. Same pronunciation as beer. And just have some kind of mental image of yourself doing something like that, something weird. The weirder it is, surprisingly, the more likely you are to remember it, the more vivid it is, like, also if it's personal, it's good. So this is sometimes a trick to getting the pronunciation right, because I'm pretty sure you know other words which are pronounced in a similar way. uh I've just received a message from Jolly, and she did indeed forget. I think she's on her way. I hope so. I hope so. We'll see. We'll see. She didn't say she wouldn't come, so I assume she's coming now. Yeah, it's, we can still save this. I don't think we're gonna do any feedback because I think this time I'm just explaining vocabulary and just vocabulary and some pronunciation as I go along. So yes. How did you feel the first time you scuba dived? So that is definitely not a question for me. Because that didn't ever happen, right? How can I tell you how I felt when I scuba dived for the first time if I haven't done it yet, even? Oh, Jolie says she can't make it, unfortunately. So I think she just forgot about it and then planned her day in a different way. So you know what? We will forgive her. Yeah, we will forgive her. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Yeah. So, do you know this phrase? It happens to the best of us. It happens to the best of us. Yeah. So it's something I would use to make the other person feel better about doing something terrible. No, usually something embarrassing. So let's imagine someone does something embarrassing. What could be embarrassing? I've just remembered that once I was teaching a lesson, and my flyer, you know what flyer is? That's what men have on their jeans. And my flyer was undone. And one of my students noticed it and pointed it out to me during the lesson. That was super embarrassing, actually, for me. So yes, that thing could be quite embarrassing. And what you can do is to say it happens to the best of us, right? Anyway, yeah. Okay, so it will just have to be me today, I'm afraid. Guys, I'm really sorry. And the question was, how did you feel? So you know what? I can just sort of try to imagine how a scuba diver could feel the first time they scuba dive. They could feel excited about trying this new thing out, about trying out something they have dreamed of doing at some point in their life. Maybe this has been on their bucket list for a long time, because this is one of those things that people who would have on their bucket list. Do you guys know what a bucket list is? A bucket list. Bucket list is a list of things. It's a list of things you would like to do before you kick the bucket, which means to die. So, like you have like the things that you would like to do before you pass away. Yeah. And I bet a lot of people have scuba diving on that list. So, yeah, I can imagine people would be excited about it, or possibly a little bit scared, a little bit, sort of apprehensive, anxious. I think it can be a mix of emotions. Sometimes you have conflicting emotions in you, right? You really want to do it. You're excited. At the same time, you're a little bit nervous. Yeah. So I can imagine this is one of those things. Yeah. Is there any other? Is there any other emotion they could feel? Hmm. I think those would be the most common ones. Honestly, would you be like upset or like angry? I would be angry if my equipment stopped working while, while I was down there. But other than that, I can't imagine why I would be angry. Maybe if they told me, Zdenek, don't worry, there are no sharks in this area, then I would be like, fuck you guys. You told me that there would be no sharks in this area, and I can see them left, right, and center. Well, that means if I were to tell someone that, that means I you can assume that I have survived that encounter with sharks. So at least I would have a story to tell to people. I could do a podcast about it or another YouTube video. Yay! Speaking of podcast, I have been featured on the Procrastination podcast. We have recorded a podcast with Emma. You know Emma from Pronunciation with Emma, a really, really popular English teacher who is really good at teaching pronunciation. And she has invited me as a guest to be on her podcast. And it is an absolute privilege, an absolute honor. Uh, and we talked about what it's like to teach English online. We sort of like give tips, but also we, we don't take that episode too seriously, as is the case. I mean, we are giving some useful tips. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but I like the way we approach the episode. That's because Emma is like that. Yeah, she's very fun and funny, and so it's not all just serious talk about how to become an online English teacher. But yeah, so if you are interested in that, check out the latest episode of the Procrastination podcast. I highly recommend it. It's some good shit. Excuse my French. Hi, Paul. Good to see you here. Yeah. So, where was I? So, I'm talking about scuba diving actually here, which I have no clue about. I have no idea what it is. I mean, I know what it is, but I have never tried it. And I am probably not the best person to talk about this. I was supposed to be the person interviewing here. Okay. So, guys, I hope you let me off. I hope you forgive me that the stuff I'm saying here may not always make sense. Ultimately, we are here to learn some English, right? Or I suppose you are here to learn English. I'm here to teach English, and this YouTube channel is a YouTube channel by an English teacher, me. So it doesn't matter too much, right? Doesn't matter if this video is not too informative, as long as we learn something here, right? So that's the idea, I suppose. Another question that I have prepared for myself is the training difficult? Hmm. I was like wondering how difficult it can be. So there's a bit of practical stuff, right? They're gonna show you like how to use the equipment for sure. They're going to show you what to do if you run out of if you run out of air. I mean, I would like to if I were to attend such a course. That's one of the things I would like to see. what, what do I do if I run out of air? I mean, it's probably never supposed to happen, but what if, right? What if? You never know. You never know. So I assume that's the thing. Also, that could be something to do with first aid. Like if that happens to my mate, because as I said, you have to do it in tandem. So if it happens to my mate, how do I give first aid? How do I help that person? So I don't know, like CPR, something like that. CPR, am I saying the right thing? CPR, right? What's CPR? I'm just gonna check it quickly. CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Yeah, that's what I meant exactly. It's a life-saving technique that's useful in many emergencies, such as heart attack, near drowning. That's what we are talking about here, right? Drowning. Drowning is like when when you're underwater and you run out of air, or you sort of like pass out, right, because of lack of oxygen, and then that's super dangerous. And if you drowning means like to drown means to basically die by yeah. Does it always mean that you die? You could say that someone is drowning, right? It doesn't mean that the person is dead yet. But then if someone has drowned, that means that person has died as a result of not having enough oxygen. So yeah, if this episode seems to be a bit dark, I'm sorry. I'm a dark person. I'm a dark person. I should probably switch off all these lights then. Like, how do I do that? Give me a second. Now that I said that I'm dark, I might as well be in the darkness here. Right. So yeah. Were you scared the first time you did it? I mean, it must be harder, right? There's first time for everything, and the first time you do something that you've never done, it's always like scarier than doing it second time, third time, or fourth time. That's because you always have the experience of doing it first time, because you know you've done it once. Yeah, you've been there, got the T-shirt. That's the expression. Been there, done it, got the T-shirt. That's the one. And then it's easier, right? It's easier for you. So I can only assume that you are scared doing this first time. I can't imagine you wouldn't be. Tell us about where you've scuba dived. I haven't. All right. I hope I have made that clear by now. I have never done this, so I can't tell you. Sorry. How deep did you go? I didn't. I didn't. What was the temperature? No idea. Okay, next. Is marine life dangerous? I've mentioned some sharks. What else could be there? I suppose some jellyfish, those that sting. um, that could be dangerous. And what else? I don't know. Some fish. What do you call those fish that like to eat humans? Piranhas? Piranhas? I don't know. I don't know how likely you are to encounter such animals, and if they would want to bite through all that equipment that you have on you, because I can imagine you have some sort of neoprene on you or something. I don't think you're swimming just in your swimsuit. I honestly don't know. Oh, hey, I'm looking at some photos here. So you've got those like, oh, I don't even know what these are called, guys. That's the thing, I was hoping that someone would explain this to me, but no. Um, the stuff you have on your, is it called fins? I don't know. The stuff what you have on your feet, to make you like swim faster. Uh, okay. um, and the last question I have here is: scuba diving expensive? Well, I heard from my student that it is. The equipment costs an arm and a leg. So if something costs an arm and a leg, what does it mean? I think you can guess it probably from context, right? To cost an arm and a leg. So that means that you have to pay for something with your own arm and a leg. No, that's not what it means. It's just a metaphor. Yeah, you don't actually have to do that. That would be quite painful. I mean, somebody would have to like cut off your arms or legs, unless you decide to do it by yourself. That's terrible, right? Um. Anyway, yeah, it means that something is very expensive. Yeah. And if something is very expensive, well, you can say it costs an arm and a leg. Just quickly gonna check something here just to make sure I get all these things right. To cost an arm and a leg. Like I always have to check when it comes to idioms, like all the prepositions or the articles, just to be sure. Yeah, it is all correct. And Nadia says that is a similar expression when you say it costs a fortune. That's a good one. That's a good one, Nadia. Yeah, that's right. I don't know. Like it must be expensive, right? And also, like, how do you like refill that air? Like, do you have to buy a bottle each time you go, or is there like a refill station? Or can you just like just put it out in the open air and the oxygen will sort of go in by itself? I doubt it. I think there's some sort of compression system there, but I'm only speculating here. So I can see there are people watching. Guys, it's good to have you here. I'm just by myself, talking about scuba diving, and that's because my guest forgot about this lesson. I say guest. I'm confused about this. This is a lesson. Yeah, normally we call it a live English lesson. And just to explain, the people that feature in these live English lessons are members of the Discord group that I have called the Achievers Chamber, which is a group that I run for high-level English learners, levels B2, C1, C2. If you have no idea what these levels mean, it's like upper, intermediate, advanced, and proficient learners of English. Jolly is one of the proficient ones. She's an English teacher herself. So it's almost not a lesson, really. It's more like two English teachers talking to each other, okay? But she would be in the position of that student here, I guess. And what I do here as well is that as I talk to my guests, well, first of all, I prepare a set of questions on a given topic. I tend to ask my student what topic they would be interested in before each live lesson. And also, as I teach this lesson, it's a bit weird to say teach. Right? It's almost like do. I would prefer saying do here. As I do this lesson, as I broadcast, teach, do, whatever, all of it combined, I also make notes in a Google document and about interesting language my student has used, or mistakes the student has made, or anything we could discuss language wise. So then later on I have this section. Oh! Hi, Jolly.
Hello, can you hear me?
Are you
No?
saying anything, Jolly? Are you saying anything? I'm joking. It's all right. Your headphones are working. Jolly, I was joking. Are you there? Are you gonna do the same to me now?
What about now?
Oh, it is actually much better. I could hear you
Yes,
before,
okay.
but I was joking. When you said,
Yeah,
"Can you hear
well,
me?"
I was
I,
using the microphone in my laptop, which is not good. But
yeah,
now these are working, so much better.
yeah,
Hello, sorry
good to
for the
hear that.
delay. I'm sorry,
Oh,
sorry,
that's
sorry.
okay. We are about to finish, but thanks,
Oh,
thanks for.
really?
Well, it
So,
is
hello and
30,
bye.
it is only 36 minutes into this live lesson, Jolly.
Oh my God. I'm
That's all right.
sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's okay. It happens to the best of us, as I said.
Uh-huh.
Next time it will be me.
Okay.
No, it can happen. Come on.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, what I did was that I talked about scuba diving,
On
even
your
though
own.
yeah, I have no clue. I had
I
no clue what
know
I was talking about, but I did it anyway.
you told me like, well, that I don't know much about that topic, but well, that's fine. I can ask you questions.
Mhm.
So, but you have nobody to ask questions to.
I was asking myself, occasionally the viewers, but eventually, like it came down to me answering my own questions, not having a single clue what the hell I was talking about. But it's okay. It's actually a good life
I'm
advice.
sorry.
Sometimes, no, don't feel bad. I'm not trying to make you feel worse. I'm pulling your leg a little bit. This expression to pull someone's leg,
Hmm.
to pull someone's leg. Sorry, it's like to sort of poke fun at someone,
Hmm.
to take the Mickey out of someone. Um, to make fun of someone. It's like part of
Yeah.
banter. It's like when we banter, people banter.
Hmm.
Yes. Don't worry. Don't worry. We survived. I survived. The viewers are still here. They
You
still.
always do. You always do.
Uh, Sometimes you just have to do it. Like it's life advice, guys. Just don't. I could have just like said, guys, nothing today. You get nothing. No
Are you
life.
wearing a mask? Like how do you call this? Around your neck?
Yeah, it's a
Like
mask.
swimming
No, I googled it. It's called swimming goggles.
swimming goggles. Okay. Because the mask is the one that covers your nose as well. That would be
You mean the
eh,
mask? You see, Jolly. Whenever you say the word mask,
hmm
the first thing I imagine is the COVID mask.
I know. I know. Yeah.
So like I wonder, like I was like, does she mean the COVID mask? No, COVID
But
mask
that's
is
but that's the
completely
name.
different.
Yeah.
What's the name? Sorry,
Well, that's his name. I mean, Musk.
is it for diving?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Is it
Musk.
weird if I do the lesson like this?
Mm. Well, for
what
people who know you, I think you will be okay.
What do you mean? Are you suggesting I'm crazy?
Just a little bit.
What do you mean? Wait, show me again. I couldn't see it properly.
Just a little bit.
Okay, I saw that. Yeah, good. I can't see very well through it. I don't know why.
No, because they are supposed to be using underwater.
They are supposed to be used.
Used.
Yeah.
Used. Sorry.
Exactly. No, it's okay. Yeah. I think you're right. Well, so why am I wearing them then? Look, did something to my hair now. Yeah. Anyway,
I
I
had a
think.
problem with the mask, in
Do you?
fact. Yeah.
Do you? Not
Um,
not the COVID mask. No.
not the COVID mask,
Is
the
there a
one we
hole?
use.
Is there a hole in your mask or something? No.
No, no. The mask was okay. But the
Yeah.
thing is, this is like a very important thing when you are going to do practice scuba diving. You need
Okay.
to find the appropriate mask, one that fits perfectly. It doesn't have to be too tight
Hmm.
because once you go under the water, the pressure will make it fit.
I see.
But the thing is, I took one that I thought was going to be the right one, and it was too big.
Ah.
So the water kept coming inside, and
Ooh.
I couldn't like because they instructors when you take the course they teach you what happens if water comes inside your mask
Yeah.
and what should you do if that happens. And there is a trick that I couldn't believe it worked, but it works actually.
Tell us.
So you
I'm
just
excited to hear what.
so you
what
just have to you like hold your mask with this hand like that. You press it,
okay.
and then you look up. You look up towards, and you how you call it? You blow air through your nose like strongly, so the air will fill in the mask and let the water out.
Could you write this down for me?
I don't know.
it's
No.
it's a lot of steps. A lot of steps of
Yeah, it's
instruction.
like
Mm.
like when you have a flu or something and you
Yeah.
take a tissue and right, but you do the same, and so the air filling
I see.
the
So
mask.
the best way to do this, or the most,
Hmm.
let's say, the easiest way to do this would be if you really have flu, because then you know what to do. Right? Anyway, don't listen to me, guys. Don't do what I just said. Okay, listen to Jolly.
So
She's the expert, not me.
yeah, so I had a problem one day. I was diving in the south of Spain. Do you know Tarifa? It's just is the place, if you think about the map of Spain, is like the south. There is like a kind of pointy area
Point a bit.
that that is like separated by the by water just a little bit from Africa. So it's like
Is that peninsula? Is that called peninsula? Maybe or something?
peninsula. Well, peninsula is the whole thing, is the
Okay.
whole Spain. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I
Cape?
was diving there, and
Is it called Cape? Maybe or something?
maybe it's a cape. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm just gonna
I don't
find
know.
all meanings of the word cape. Cape, a very large piece of land sticking out into the sea. Cape. I think that's what we're looking for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cape. Yeah.
So it's just the southest peak in the peninsula, let's say. So the
Got it.
thing is, we went down, everything was okay, and we were about 8 meters down, something like that, or 10 meters down, and the water started coming into my mask, and I just kept doing that thing I knew I had to do, like
Yeah.
to, and nothing worked. So I started to feel a bit
Did you panic?
stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the instructor, told me, you are not, you can't talk under the water. You just communicate with.
Oh, you were there with the instructor actually.
I was with instructor, yeah,
And did
because
he
every
know
time,
immediately? Did he get what was going on then? Did he
yeah. So the thing is, when you go scuba diving, you can't go on your own.
Yeah.
Never, ever. You always need to go with somebody else. So it's like a couple thing. You need to go with a partner or something.
Yeah, it sounds like I need a romantic, like the way you described it.
Couple,
It's
not a
like
couple.
it's like a
Sorry.
couple. You need a romantic partner.
No, you need a
Do
partner.
we- okay.
Yeah.
How close do we need to be as romantically?
No. Well, it could be romantic if you are, if it's your boyfriend or your wife or your
Girlfriend in my
husband
case
or girlfriend.
yeah.
It could be, yeah. But in this case, I was with a friend, right? So my friend,
So you were not romantically involved.
no,
No, not at no.
not at all. So my friend noticed what was happening to me, and she offered to exchange masks, right? This is something you can also do under the water, surprisingly.
Oh,
You can take off your mask, okay, and then you can put it again.
what if it's like, what if you can you like drop it or something, and it's how does it like stay where you are, or does it go down? Does gravity?
Well, if you don't take it in your hand, obviously it's going to go down.
Or is there like some marine life, like some fish that could like steal it or something? Like sometimes, like
I
you
don't
have
think
like
so.
you have some animals like foxes or magpies or something like that steal stuff. So I'm just wondering, like, if you like take it off and accidentally leave it.
Accidentally, if it's a species with a really big mouth, then maybe they can. I don't know.
I bet the species with the biggest mouth at the time was you and your instructor.
Right. So yeah. So the thing is, my friend offered to exchange masks, and I said no. I'm terrified. I know I should be able to do it because that's what the instructors taught me when I took the course. Right.
Yeah.
They teach you to do that because you never know what's going to happen under the water.
Wait. First of all, tell me how did you even speak to your friend? Like,
we communicated with gestures. There are lots of gestures to communicate under the water. They teach you that as well in the course. So,
body language,
just moving your hands and But I think my friend just saw my my face.
So I'm just gonna pretend that I have to exchange the mask with you. So
Yes.
I want to try like what it would be like to communicate with you. So.
So that's it. Yeah, we did that. So
I'm waiting for your response. Are you saying anything?
Yeah,
but your
but
expressionless.
you should have the mask, like.
Okay.
Right.
Sorry.
So you have your mask. I have my mask.
Okay.
Right. I see you are in trouble. Yeah. I am the friend. You are me. So my friend told me like that.
But if you show this to me,
Mm-hmm.
it means that you want to be
Something like that.
No,
No.
it means to me this means that you want to be substituted, and if I'm
Mhm.
the manager of my team, I'm gonna have to
Like change, like take
yeah
over.
take you
No.
off because you're probably injured or really exhausted. So I don't
Yeah,
know
but
if I would get it if I were under the water with you.
yeah, well, I understood. She did properly. Like she pointed at the mask and then she did the
Yeah.
the thing. So I said, okay, that's fine. Let's do it. I took off my mask, and this is something, guys, if you ever practice scuba diving, don't ever do that. Don't ever try to breathe through your nose if you don't have your mask on, because then you will have problems like I did. Like
What happened? So did you like did
it was just unconscious. It was unconscious thing. I just took my
you
mask
were
off and
unconscious?
I try. I no.
Subconscious, you mean subconscious?
It was I did it unconsciously, like to take off my mask and breathe.
Okay.
I've got I had the regulator on my mouth.
Yeah.
I was breathing air,
Yeah. It's
right?
like a reflex. It was a reflex. Yeah.
It was a reflex, yeah. It was just involuntary, you know. So yes, I thought I
So
was
so
going
so
to,
so
yeah.
why wouldn't you like at that point? What I would do is I would like to get. I would want to get out as fast as I could. So
Yes, exactly. And this is something you can't do
you
either.
can't.
No, you can't.
Why not?
Because if you do that, if you are at certain depth, you
If you're doing what?
cannot,
If
if
you're doing.
you are at certain depth, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You cannot go up straight away because you are at risk of suffering, how you call it, I need to search that. I need to
Depression.
look for
I know what you mean. Like the
the
press. Like
the compression.
yeah, yeah. Because your body needs like slow getting used
Mhm.
to the pressure basically, and there's
Yes,
different
exactly.
kind of pressure down there than up there. It makes sense. Yeah.
So this is called decompression. Yeah, it's like a
Decompression. Yeah.
decompression disease, which means the nitrogen wants to come out of your body, but it didn't have time to do it. So when you go so fast, then it tries to get out of your body, and
It,
your body is filled with bubbles, and it's horrible. Yeah,
you're describing it as if I had some kind of devil inside of my body. I was
yeah.
trying to
So
get out of your body.
it's trying to get, yeah, exactly. It's trying to, yeah. You
Hmm.
have to eliminate all the, you know,
Yeah, I see.
nitrogen. I think it's nitrogen.
Nitrogen. Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
so yeah, I was there, like 10 meters down, with the water coming inside, like swallowing water, and I couldn't breathe.
Yeah,
Um,
when you were not here, I was talking about this sport, scuba diving,
mhm.
and I said it would be fun to try it, but after hearing this anecdote, Jolly, I'm not so sure anymore. Thanks for that. Thanks
Well,
for opening my eyes.
I have to say, this only happened once, and
Hmm.
I've done like, I don't know, 50, 60 immersions, more or less. Never
60
happened
or
to me.
16? 60?
60, yeah,
60. Okay.
60,
Yeah.
more or
Um,
less, yeah.
that means that your chance of this happening is only about 2%. So you only have about 1% chance of dying. It's fine. If
Well,
you
there is
wouldn't.
always the chance that something happens. It's
Yeah,
not, it's a dangerous
I'm kidding, of
sport,
course. I'm kidding.
you know. Something can go wrong. You never know.
Well, hey, things could go wrong when you go running. We have cases of people. I run every day now, and there are people who pass out or something happens. Right? Their heart stops beating. We
Mhm.
had like a Czech footballer. There's a famous Czech footballer. His name was Tomáš Srníček. He was a goalkeeper for Newcastle United, and he died at the age of 50. after something happened during his run, and I think his heart stopped beating, basically, or something. So it's sportsman, a well trained sportsman. Yeah, so like anything could go wrong at any point, guys. Even when you are watching this video. Oh my god, I don't know what is wrong. What's wrong with me today, Joe? I have this mood like when I'm really weird. Like sometimes it happens, you know.
Mm.
I say really weird things. You know? Anyway, thanks
So
very
yeah,
much for telling us all this. And is there anything else? Anything else you would like to add? How long have
it's
you how long have you
it's
been scuba?
yeah, the I think I took the course in 2008.
Ah, okay.
I think, don't
That's
remember
ages
very
ago.
well.
So, 12
Yeah,
years. Oh,
but I
oh,
can't.
14 years ago.
Yeah, I can't practice it as much as I would like to. It's not cheap sport.
Yep. That's what I
Um,
said. I said it costs an arm and a leg.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, the equipment is really expensive if you buy your own equipment. Some people have their own equipment, but normally when you go scuba diving, the scuba diver center offer you you can hire the
Yeah.
equipment. It's not really expensive, but let's say that the immersion, the hiring the equipment and the
Yep.
insurance will cost around 75 euros,
Okay.
something like that. And you never do just one immersion. So
Yeah.
if you go on holiday to the coast and you want to scuba diving, then you will, yeah, you will probably book, I don't know, 4, 6 immersions,
I
something
like
like
the
that.
word immersion, by the way. So it comes from what immerse, to immerse yourself. The act of
Mhm.
putting something or someone completely under the surface of a liquid, in this case, water, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So it must, yeah, like from what you're describing, it is really expensive. It is much cheaper to become an Achievers Chamber member if any of you. Okay, I had to. Guys, I you know what I was trying to do. Yeah. Anyway, you guys.
It's not a bad experience, but
Yeah.
scuba diving is a bit more, I don't know, if I can find an adjective. Uh, it's
Describe the
difficult.
adjective. Describe the adjective. Then we can help you with that.
I just want to describe the experience of being underwater and seeing a completely different world.
Okay.
Like
Bizarre, or it is quite unusual. It is
overwhelming, maybe
overwhelming. It's very unique. Hmm,
one in a million
yeah, yeah, yeah.
experience. Uh, yeah, so it's the feeling of ingravity. Can we say ingravity? I don't know.
I'm not a physicist. In gravity. I don't.
I'm always making up words.
Um,
No, that's wastelessness.
wait.
Weightlessness. Oh my God.
Wastelessness.
Like no gravity,
Yeah.
yeah? Like you
No
are,
gravity. Yeah. You're like floating in the air.
mhm, yeah, and everything goes so slow, and and it's so there is also something I really like when I'm down there, and it's the sound of the bubbles of air coming out, like that's the only thing you hear.
Hmm.
It's so peaceful, and yeah,
Okay. Well, it
it's really nice.
sounds
Really,
like
really
fun.
nice.
Now I think I'm back in in that mode when I was like, maybe I should try it one day.
Hmm.
Yeah, you've managed to turn the corner.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
really
Well,
nice.
thank you very much for this, Jolly. I think that's where we will leave it. And
Okay.
thank you for making it in the end, and telling us about your experiences of scuba diving. So if anybody would like to learn more about scuba diving, then you have to speak to Jolly. Don't speak to me about this. I know nothing. But I think if you want, you can leave comments under this video, and Jolly will tell you more, because she is. Are you subscribed to Teacher Zdenek YouTube channel? You are, yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Jolly will notice your comment, of course, and you cannot tag anyone here, can you? I don't think
I
you
don't
can.
know.
Or we just, if there is a comment for Jolly and she doesn't respond, then I will make sure that I tell her, okay, that she has got a comment to respond.
Hmm.
Okay, thank you very much, Jolly. Thank you guys
Thank
for
you.
watching, and yeah, give this video a like if you liked it, if you enjoyed it. Okay, guys, take care, and I'll speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, Jolly. Bye bye.
Bye bye.